Today we are exploring some of the wildest SpongeBob Mandela effects I found in the back rooms of the internet. Some of these Mandela effects had me thinking I was borderline crazy, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. The Mandela effect is when a large amount of people remember something looking or happening a certain way, but in reality it actually never happened. Let's dive into these SpongeBob Mandela effects that had me looking in the mirror wondering if I was schizophrenic or something. The episode Your Shoes Untied starts out with SpongeBob watching You Know What in the living room, truly enjoying what he was looking at. I'm not gonna lie, watching porn in the living room is straight devious. My boy SpongeBob was feeling jeopardous that day. Patrick then pulls up with some brand new fake ass Converse shoes on his hands and asks SpongeBob to tie his shoes for him. SpongeBob unties his own shoes, then instantly realizes he is not that guy because he can't retie them hoes. He then makes up some random ass excuse so that Patrick could leave the house. Then SpongeBob finally realizes that he definitely don't remember how to tie his shoes. The next day he constantly falls over his shoelaces over and over again like a dweeb. Like, come on SpongeBob, just take the shoes off, my guy. It's not that deep. Bro then proceeds to hide his shoes from Patrick and mess everything up while at work. SpongeBob asks all the customers at the Crusty Crab for help, but nobody knows how to tie his shoelaces. Probably because they don't wear shoes. Later, the Flying Dutchman appears talking like he that guy just for us to find out that he know how to tie everything but shoelaces. Crazy, right? SpongeBob then goes home feeling destroyed, then Gary ties his shoes for him. Gary then teaches SpongeBob how to tie his shoes properly. But wait, here's where the Mandela effect comes in. If you look at SpongeBob's character design, you'll see that SpongeBob's shoes doesn't have laces. Many people all over the internet believe SpongeBob's shoes always had laces. I don't know if it was because of this episode or what. Honestly, I never really paid much attention to SpongeBob's shoes, so I don't know. But it is kind of weird that they dedicated a whole episode to him tying his laces, but his shoes supposedly never had laces. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments. Do you remember SpongeBob's shoes having laces? Next, we had the episode Clams, which is Mr. Krabs' $1 million episode. I know we all remember this one. Mr. Krabs gets his $1 million and takes SpongeBob and Squidward on a fishing trip with his special dollar for some odd reason. SpongeBob then accidentally hooks Mr. Krabs' $1 million and gets it eaten by a clam. But here comes the Mandela effect. I know you all remember this iconic scene where Mr. Krabs says this.
This isn't me $1,000,000. This is an ordinary dollar that's been crumpled up, torn slightly, soaked in a lagoon, and kissed with coral blue No. 2 semi-gloss lipstick.
Alright, now what do y'all remember SpongeBob's response being? Pause the video right now and comment it down below. Alright, the answer is, drum roll please. He actually doesn't say anything. Right before he says the number of the coral blue, he gets hit in the head by Squidward.
Actually, it's coral blue number 2.
This is the Mandela effect because many people claim to remember him saying actually it's coral blue number 5 before Squidward hits him in the head. I don't know, bruh, this one weird. Maybe that's why people come up with Mandela effects. What if it's just our mind making us think something that never happened actually happened because we overthink it and convince ourselves that it was real? I don't know, I'm probably just overthinking way too hard right now. But I feel like the more you think about Mandela effects, the more you convince yourself that it actually happened. Like at first, I did not think it was coral blue number 5, but now since I'm constantly thinking about it, maybe he did say coral blue number 5. But at first, I remember him not saying nothing. I don't know, bro, Mandela effect's weird. But anyway, on to the next. And I was a teenage Gary. Patrick pulls up on SpongeBob and tells him about a jellyfish convention. SpongeBob agrees to pull up and ask Squidward if he can babysit Gary for him. Or should I say snail sit? Squidward agrees to snail sit just so he can get SpongeBob and Patrick going because we all know they be harassing my boy Squidward. As soon as they leave, Squidward instantly forgets about Gary and then proceed to turn up the whole weekend, leaving my son Gary in the house starving. SpongeBob and Patrick get back and Squidward gets scared because he knows SpongeBob gonna press him. So he runs back to Gary and tries to feed him. I'm not gonna lie, my son Gary was up in that bit looking like a raisin. That boy dehydrated, starved, sick, you name it. SpongeBob calls the vet and he prescribes Gary some snail plasma with a side of perks. Squidward then accidentally injects SpongeBob with the snail plasma and SpongeBob turns into a snail. SpongeBob asks Squidward for help and Squidward starts ducking SpongeBob like how dudes be ducking they ops. My boy SpongeBob had Squidward running through his own crib. My boy Squidward was so scared he accidentally injected himself with the snail plasma. And now this is where the Mandela effect comes in. A lot of people believe there was a scene that showed Squidward turning into a snail, just like the scene we saw earlier with SpongeBob. They also point out that the transition between the scene when Squidward turned into a snail and the end of the scene is off. Just peep this right here. Y'all notice anything fishy here? Well, if you look closely, there is no bubbles during the transition. And we all know SpongeBob is known for having a little bubble effect every time they transition scenes. Somebody even made a fan-made scene showing what they say the original scene looked like.
Meow, 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 meow.
I'm not gonna lie, it definitely fits into the episode perfectly. Once again, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do y'all remember this scene happening, or is everybody tripping? Me personally, I don't remember this scene happening, but the fan-made arts fits too perfectly, so it's making me think it did happen. Because how would this person be able to make a scene that people vividly remember so perfectly? Next, we had a Crusty Crab training video episode. This episode is a fan favorite, but I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. Growing up, I hated this episode, especially the ending, but we gonna get into that later. This episode was kinda boring to me, I'm not gonna lie. But anyways, the episode is basically just a training video telling new Crusty Crab employees everything they need to know about working at the Crusty Crab. The Mandela effect actually takes place at the very end of the episode. Watch this clip right quick and let me know if y'all notice anything out of the ordinary.
Are you ready? Are you sure? Okay, the secret formula is...
Me personally, this is how I remember the episode ending, but many people say they remember the narrator listing some of the ingredients before the episode cuts out. I don't remember that happening. I specifically remember getting mad every time they played this episode because it cuts out right before they say their ingredients. So I don't know where this Mandela effect came from, but I can't relate to it. Last but not least, we had the most controversial Mandela effect in SpongeBob in my opinion. It comes from the SpongeBob movie and it involves the guitar SpongeBob used at the end of the movie when he shot the buckets off everybody's head. Alright, I want everybody to close their eyes right now and imagine what the guitar looked like. Okay, now here's how it actually looked. I don't know what the F this is on the screen, but this is definitely not what I remember at all. A peanut? Are you serious? Nickelodeon gotta be trolling us with this one. At this point, I think they just trying to see what BS they can tell us and see how many people actually believe it. I remember SpongeBob having a white V-shaped guitar, and some people say they remember it being red. But one thing for certain, that bit was not no damn peanut. I don't know where that shit came from. It don't even fit in. Like, why would his guitar be a peanut? I mean, I guess because the Goofy Goober is a peanut and the song was about being a Goofy Goober. I mean, I guess. That kind of makes sense, but nah, Nickelodeon, I'm not buying it. Let me know down in the comments what y'all remember the guitar looking like, because this for sure is not it. But as always, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment for more SpongeBob vids. I appreciate all the support y'all been showing on the vids, no cap.